so enriching in my life. I could go way back to when I basically started wanting to be a fighter. I remember the very first fight I ever saw, which was Mike Tyson versus Larry Holmes. I was a young kid, and there was all this buzz about this major fight that there was going to be, and I just had to see it. And when I got a chance to actually watch the fight, it was a fight that changed my life forever. I knew that one day I wanted to be a fighter. You know, when I started boxing, I really was very serious at it, training very hard, really had the vision in my life that I was going to actually be a professional fighter. A couple of years into being an amateur, there was discovered that I had a heart problem. My dream of being a fighter was over. And they told me by the time I was 19, I was going to have my first open heart surgery. And that was like one of the most depressing things that I've ever been told and had to live with. But I basically picked up the pieces and still was in love with boxing, still watched fights, and really got into like the history of boxing. And a couple of years later, I was fortunate enough to really connect with my mentor, Burt Randolph Sugar, who really taught me so much more and opened up my eyes to the inner workings of the sport. You know, it's one thing when you're watching a fight, but it's another thing to really understand the entire history and what was happening at the time. And one of the things today, they talk about boxing is dead, but boxing meant so much more to us as a history than anyone ever realized. And studying that, being around the fighters, I thought that there was a story that wasn't told. A story that could be much more deeper that a lot of fans never really got a chance to connect with. And that's how TKO Plus became involved. And what we set out to do is really going around, getting the behind the scenes, leveraging some of the relationships that we have with the sport. We got a chance to really spend some time with some of the young up-and-coming champions and up-and-coming fighters, and really go back and get some of the older fighters and see how they reflected on their career. Today, in this very fast-paced environment, boxers, if you're not Floyd Mayweather or if you're not some of the other top fighters, don't really get a chance to really showcase who they really are in the story unless they're selling you something. But you really don't get the chance. It seems so fake. And these fighters have so much more to offer, and we look forward to creating that offer in TKO Plus. One of the things about TKO Plus, we're going to be on location around the world with some of the top fighters. So on this site, you'll be able to see a lot of great, wonderful interviews from being in the UK, being in Ukraine. I'm trying to get some time with current heavyweight champion of the world, Vladimir Klitschko. We are willing to go anywhere for that story. That's our goal. We're very excited about it, and thank you for being part of the journey.